Hey Sainers, and welcome to Saints TV Round 18 review. We played the Bulldogs, first game for Brett Ratten as caretaker coach after a very long, very stressful week for the club. Alan Richardson stepping down, handing the keys to Brett Ratten, and you never know what's going to happen when a new coach gets the keys to this team and if there's going to be any major changes to what we've seen so far this season. But I'm in Queensland, got to watch it on Foxtel, didn't get to go, which was unfortunate, but there you go. It just shows what this team's capable of, that win. That first quarter, 41 points to 6, I think it was, came out of the blocks, super aggressive. It was a great all-round performance. I think even the most pleasing thing for me was that even when Bulldogs challenged and they kept coming and coming and they bridged the gap a little bit in that third quarter, and you thought, oh, please don't give in. We just fought hard, we were mature about it, and that last quarter was just excellent. And there's so many different little things that you notice watching the game, particularly watching it on Foxtel, which I think was the benefit. I got to see kind of the different tactics. I noticed that Blake Acres was really through the guts a lot more in this game. His handballing game is exceptional. He's not great with his field kicking, but there were so many times where he just was able to hold the tackler and get the hands off. And I think that's what we worked really well on, was the rebound out of defence. We didn't get stuck bombing it. We kicked it short, and I wouldn't be surprised if we had a lot of kicks compared to the Dogs. If I look at the stats, we had 240 kicks, they had 212. So we had a bit more there, 150 handballs, a lot fewer than the Dogs, and I think that worked into our hands. We were really set up well ahead of the ball. We stopped their run in patches of the game. And when they turned it over and they gave it to us, we actually hurt them. And that was one thing that was evident, was our efficiency inside 50 was insane. I think it was, let's look at this here, 67% for the entire game is ridiculous. We lost the inside 50 count. We've gone inside 50 46 times, and we've had 31 shots on goal. That's unheard of. In most AFL standards, that's very high. The Bulldogs were pretty good, and they were at a bit below AFL standard, 35%. We were 67. So it took us a lot fewer entries to kick goals. We kicked straighter than we usually do. We kicked a total of 116. First time we kicked over 100 points in over a season. We kicked 17-14, so 31 shots to 19 in the end. We really should have blown them away, but they kept themselves in the game with the way that the Dogs play. They're fast, they handball through the middle. But when it comes to the way we played, and what I noticed was that it was very much a slower game. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I thought it was very slow, methodical, sometimes too slow and too safe. But a lot of the time, it was for a reason, and I like that. You could tell that there was purpose with the way we were playing. There wasn't just luck at the end of it. It was leaving Membry or Bruce deep out of the goal square was really beneficial, because anytime one of them pushed up and we turned, there was one target only. There wasn't Bruce, Membry, and at times last year with McCartan, all of them going for the one ball. It was very much a smart and slow and structured performance today, and it was exciting too. How long has it been since we've kicked 100 points, beaten a team that's been pushing for top 8? We beat them by 5 goals. This team 2 or 3 weeks ago beat Geelong. They beat Melbourne. They've had some very impressive wins lately, and we've come away with a pretty comfortable win in the end. And it just shows that with the players that we've got the team to really challenge and be a decent team. It's just a matter of getting them in the right mental space. And my friend sent me a really nice video after the game of the players waiting to go back through the tunnel to get to the rooms to sing the song. And they're all just high-fiving, hugging, just really celebrating. And it was even better to see Brett Ratten singing the song, getting covered in Gatorade and Powerade by the players, with Caulfield as well. And Dalton Langlands looks a classy act. He did some really small things that were really impressive. There was a passage on the wing where he got the ball first and laid it off, and we kicked a goal from it. And you wouldn't have thought he was a first gamer doing what he did. Kicked his first goal as well. Loney kicked 4. Membry kicked 4. Who else were the notable goal kickers? Billings kicked 2-1 with 27. Hunter Clark, 26 disposals, 2 goals. Exceptional performance from Hunter Clark. He's coming on big time, and I'm so excited with what he's going to turn into. I thought Caulfield and Patton, as two players that have played less than 20 games between them, less than 30 games between them, they owned the back half. Their chipping around, their structure, their poise, their field kicking was so beneficial when we got the ball out of the back half, and we didn't just blaze away. It was either a short 15 or it was a running handball to someone, and that's one thing that we have done today that we didn't do for most of this season. And I'm not going to throw Richo under the bus. I'm sure there was a mixture of things as to why these things didn't happen, but they happened today, and it was every time we got the ball out of the middle or around a contest, there was someone waiting for a handball. There was someone there to support and then to rebound, and we ran in waves. It wasn't just get the ball and a dumb kick out of the contest. It was very structured. And I thought Seb Ross had a very good game. I thought Rowan Marshall, if you look at his stats, I'm just reading them, he's had 21 possessions, again, over 20 possessions for a ruckman. He's had 32 hit-outs. He's had 2 tackles, 6 marks, 9 handballs. I think he had over 14 contested possessions, which was one of the highest on the ground, 6 clearances, 5 inside 50s. He's a step above, honestly. He's absolute step above. Loney, he kicked 4-3. You wouldn't have guessed it, but he had 20 possessions. He had 8 marks, a couple of tackles. Most tackles on the ground was probably Jack Steele. Equal top was Jack Steele with 6 tackles. He tagged Dunkley for a lot of the game. He tagged Bontempelli as well. And Bontempelli, what did he finish with? He got going a little bit towards the end, but he finished with a total of 19. So he's negated Bontempelli there big time. No score for Bont. Patton had 19. Carl up, his best game since he's been back, 18 disposals. Wilkie, 18 disposals. Looks just a calm head. Langland's had 12 and a goal, so you can't 3 tackles as well from him. Brown, he only had 10 possessions, but he kept Shaki goalless. He kept Norton. I think Shaki kicked a goal in the end, didn't he? But I think he kept Norton very, very quiet for most of the game. Norton's kicked 1 point with 8 disposals. Brown in that last quarter had a few massive plays where he went up on the wing and he took down Smith, I think it was, in a huge tackle, turns the ball over. I think we go down the other end and kick a goal. So it was just an all-round team performance. And the only, negative thing is that, you don't want this to be a one-off where it was just a response to what's happened during the week. You want it to be a really consistent effort. And we've got another chance next week against a team that is similar to the Bulldogs, similar to us, and has had a disappointing season in Melbourne. So I think that's a Saturday night game next weekend at Marvel. So that's going to be exciting to see what we can do under the lights at home, in front of the home fans again. And I'll be back in Melbourne and get to watch it. So it's going to be super exciting. But I'm stoked. I was a bit nervous about this game. I didn't want us to just put the white flag up and not show something, but we showed way more than I thought we did. And I thought it looked like Ratten's already put a bit of a different style onto it. It was the speed was the one thing I noticed, was that we went fast when we went through the middle, but when we were coming out of defence, we played it a lot safer. We didn't want to turn the ball over as much as we used to. We didn't bomb it down to Membry and Bruce going for the 1 mark. It was very much a lead-up game, and that's something we've wanted for so long. So it's good to see that Ratten's taken that on board. He's probably been wanting to do this all season, and he's gotten his chance this week, and he's really made the most of it. So really glad that he's got his first win since coaching Carlton, 6 or 7 years ago. But I'm just glad for the players. I thought Gresham was his best game in a long time. He really, really was impressive in the middle. The amount of taps from Marshall to Gresh running past, and actually Dunstan, I can't fault his game at all. 22 possessions, but I want to know how many clearances he's had. He had 7 clearances. I'm not sure who had the most clearances on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Dunstan or Gresham. Gresham had 6 clearances. I think we had the most on the ground as a team. We had 40 to 35. More hit-outs, more clearances, more tackles, more shots, more uncontested, more marks, more contested, less free kicks, less handballs, more kicks, and total of more disposals. So all across the board, it was an awesome performance, and I honestly can't fault it. Bulldogs were always going to have a bit of a run on. That's the sort of team they are, but the point is that we didn't let it continue. We stopped it after the 2 or 3 goal mark. We stabilised, got a few goals again, and it's just great to see that we're doing what teams do to us. That second quarter, Bulldogs had like 10 inside 50s to our 2. from those 10, they kicked 2 goals. From our 2, we kicked 2 goals. So we kept them level. We didn't let them get a run on. We didn't let those inside 50 stack up on the scoreboard. We just weathered the storm, and then when the opportunity came down the other end, we took it. So that's as good as it gets, really, for us. That's probably our best win for the season, apart from the Melbourne win, just because of the circumstances of the week. Players could have easily just given up, but they came out guns blazing. I might quickly go through some comments before I close this down. Going to head out to dinner and have some cocktails in Queensland just to celebrate, which will be good. It's been a while since we've celebrated a win, but it's a bloody good feeling to get it this week. Just a shame I couldn't be there. Michael says, surely Ron Marshall will be nominated Best First-Year Player. Absolutely no doubt. He's been incredible. Emmett says, I shed a tear after that win. People getting emotional. Jack Loney gets my 3 votes. Great game by him tonight. He was everywhere, says Daniel. Sam says, how much difference does Loney bring? One of many exceptional players tonight. Hard to name a bad player on field at all. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to name a bad one, to be honest. I think if you look at disposals, Nunes had 1 goal won, and he only had 8 disposals. Hind only 8. Brown, Parker, 11 and 10. So, I mean, I thought Nunes, although only 8 possessions, he had 4 tackles, and that's more than a lot of players on the ground, considering 10 was the most by any player. So he would have been right up there in the most tackles. Akers, 21 and 4 tackles. Dunstan, 22 and 5 tackles. It was a intense game, and he did his part when it came to tackling. So I won't fault him there. Jason says, there were parts of the game where we let go of the trigger and Dogs capitalised. We need to work a bit more on that. Other than that, well done to the Saints. Radley said, saw the score and rushed straight from work to catch the second half in person. Best decision I've made today. Great to be there for this. The bomb inside 50 was gone completely. It was very much a lead-up game, or it wasn't a bomb. It was a kicking to a one-on-one. And when the ball came to ground, our smalls worked. And if it didn't come to ground, our tall made sure that he marked it or created a contest. Joe says, Mick Malthouse has just declared his interest in coaching on ABC radio coverage. Thoughts? Not interested in him. I'm liking the way Brett Ratten's going. I don't think Malthouse worked very well with Carlton. I don't see why we'd want to go for him now. I'd rather go for someone like Rats, who's had experience at the top level and very good assistant experience with a very good coach in Alistair Clarkson. I wouldn't go much more than that, to be honest. Or someone left field like a Robert Harvey, Lenny Hayes, Blake Carousella would be good as well. But so far, 1 win for Rats. We can't say we don't want him. He's clearly got the players on ball, and he brings an exciting brand of footy. So we'll see next week if the players can back it up. That's the big test now, is to back it up. Emily says, very happy with the win. They played well. I feel Ratten has to get the coaching role. He's so good with the players. That's a big part is, it's not just tactics, but it's winning the players over. And I think maybe Richo's tactics weren't that bad, despite what people think. But I think maybe his relationship with the players wasn't as strong as what it might be with Rats. And we saw that at the end of the game, getting him into the middle and just hugging him and being there for him. I think that really gets the best out of the players. They want to play for him, and you get more positive performances from that. Loney, seriously underrated on what he brings to this team. Isaac says, we've got the talent, we just need the mentality that we brought tonight, week after week. Daniel says, Hunter Clark is going to be massive for us. He was another one that played very well and hit the scoreboard. Sam says, Hunter Clark not looking back now. He's going to be a gun. He's going to be an absolute gun. He might be one of the best players on our list. He might surpass JB if he keeps going in this trajectory, because he's looking incredibly good. Blake says, great win. We have struggled to kick more than 70 points all year. Kicked it by halftime, kicking over 100. Great to see. White and Stephen a chance next week. I saw that Jack Stephen performed really well for Sandy, 21 possessions and 3 or 4 tackles. So it could be interesting. We could see him return next week against Melbourne. That would create an extra buzz in that game. Hunter Clark will win a Brownlow one day. Seb Ross is absolute garbage. His kicking is a disgrace to the club. Hope we trade him out at the end of the season. Wouldn't be that harsh on Seb. I thought he did some good things today. It's hard to vote this week. Really, everyone played very well. Good job, fellas. Kim says, I'll sleep like a baby tonight. Christina says, Carlisle was brilliant. So was Brown. He has a habit of getting his body in the way. And, yeah, I agree with Brown. Body on body was exactly where it's at. But also Carlisle's intercept marks was as good as it's been since he's been back from injury. So very happy there. Greg says, absolutely amazing to watch, similar to game against Richmond the year when Richmond won the grand final. If only we play like that every week. If we can win 3 out of the next 5 games, at least I will be so happy. Nathan Brown was enormous. Always makes a difference. Says Wade. There's so many comments, guys. I'm going to miss a few, unfortunately. Jason says, great to see the commitment from everyone and to push through 4 quarters. Don't know why they were dropping him from the team during the year. I think that was Hunter Clark that Jason was talking about. I'm sure Richo will be happy. No doubt Richo will be happy, and no ill feelings towards Richo. He did the best thing for the club, I think, and look at how happy it's made us so far this week, and that's something we might not have seen if not for the events, this week. Multiple goal scorers handy. Sign Rats and get Harvey's assistant to become future coach. Lyle says, great for football. Train ride to Sandy, a winner. And Daniel says, will Brown play on next year? I'm not sure, but based on his performances, he's 31 or 32. I reckon we can go another year with Brownie. It just gives us enough flexibility to get Clever Nero and get some more backmen in. Josh Battle will come back in and get more experience into the younger guys before Brown parts and retires. But his performance today was the best he's played in a long time, and he's speedy. He looked pretty speedy for a big guy, so very happy. I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to YouTube when this is there. It's also going to be on Spotify as well, iTunes, and it's just an awesome end to the weekend. Great to be on holiday watching this and relaxing, and very happy for the guys and for the team, for Ratten, for everyone at the club who's had a shit season, and for us. We've gone through the worst of it so far, but hopefully we can come through and have a really good end to the season, really positive, and I'm super excited to see how we go against Melbourne, because Melbourne played well against West Coast today, but we've had their measure lately, and against then it's usually an exciting, fast game. So hopefully another high-scoring game, and we get to see Jack Stephen back, but we'll see about that. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Tune in Thursday. I'll have my preview for the Melbourne game, but until then, go Saints. See ya.